Sometimes new isn't always better. Indeed, in the world of racing, sometimes old school is the way to be cool. And the same is true here in the Rolling Thunder Series. Now, we've been racing the Gen 4 car over the course of their season, but there are few things older and better than letting those Gen 4 cars loose on one of the oldest, most storied tracks in the history of North American racing. That's right, it's time to tame the Lady in Black, and it's time to go racing at Darlington. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cleveland Wrap 181 Live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm DJ Clark, and with me in the booth is Robert Covey. Behind the scenes is our director, Ryan Bauer, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Now, Darlington may be old hat to most NASCAR faithful, but let's go ahead and jump on over to our track guide for a bit of a refresher.
Before Daytona, there was Darlington. In 2020, the track celebrated its 70th anniversary. And despite numerous ups and downs, the track has proved resilient through it all, truly being the track too tough to tame. When Darlington was completed in 1950, there wasn't anything like it in the Southeast. It can only be compared in the U.S. to Indianapolis. Its unique shape is what really does it. This track was designed long before cars could achieve the speeds they do now, and while the asphalt is wide, the actual raceable track surface is very narrow through the turns, and that starts in turns 1 and 2. This is the wide end of the speedway. You'll often see cars enter up high, drift down a touch before coming back up to the wall, and then they try to diamond off turn 2. That's right, the corner actually sharpens from turns 1 and 2. And if you don't nail that turn 2 right, you'll leave a pretty nasty mark on the exit of the turn 2 wall. You fly down the backstretch and hit turns 3 and 4, which are much more symmetrical, but together present a much tighter radius than 1 and 2. You'll tend to enter high and stay high all the way to the exit of 4. When tires start to fade, you'll feel it at this end of the track more. Pretty much only the upper echelon of stock cars race at Darlington. The Cup cars, of course, having their annual Southern 500. The race is perhaps the toughest 500-mile race on drivers and equipment. Today, here on GSRC and iRacing, Darlington will show us who has nerves of steel as they receive their Darlington stripes. Sit down and hold on for a wild one.
Well, Robert, that's a little bit of an overview of this most historic track, but just how are these Gen 4s going to run around this traditional old-school egg-shaped oval?
Well, it's definitely going to be a handful around here. This is Darlington. The place you want to be is up against the wall, but that wall can come out and bite you very, very quickly and really ruin your race in a heartbeat.
Well, we're going to have to watch how those drivers are able to try to tame the Lady in the Black. But let's go ahead and take a look at the drivers' standings. Now, it is Daniel Eberhardt that leads the way with 246 points. We had a little bit of a heart attack earlier in the day. It looked like Daniel wasn't going to be in the session. He is here, so those championship hopes alive for him. Colin Weatherholt, Dylan Jones, very, very close behind him. Only 25 points back, respectively, and only 2 points separating the two of them. Jared Mogard not out of the conversation as well. Scott Crump right there, 41 points back. Jason Maines, Ryan Johnson in the top 7. Then it's Matthew Robinson and Michael Larch, only a single point behind him. Seth Reed back 65 points. Very, very close running across the board. Well, it's going to be relatively similar in how we run this, but it is the 8th round here, Robert. So what do we have in store for today?
Well, we've got 133 laps around this outstanding track in the NASCAR Gen 4 Cup. Fixed setup, no spare car, 4 total tire sets, 3 in the pits, 1 green, white checkered attempt if we get to that.
Yeah, and that could be a big thing. Now, I will say this series has been good about staying green, so hopefully we won't have to go into that attempt. But we're about 10 seconds away here from qualifying ticking over, and this is a track where passing isn't necessarily impossible, but it is certainly difficult. So just how important is it going to be for these drivers, especially the ones we take a look at our screen right now?
Yeah, we're seeing Jacob Manning, Joshua Suss providing us with onboard cams tonight. Passing, you want to keep the car up top. A lot of these guys have been very, very patient, and a lot of times they prove me wrong, but everybody's pretty patient until around those final pit stops, and then you're going to see a lot of moves. We have a few drivers that don't like running the wall, run the low line, and it's going to be an interesting fight tonight.
It's going to be a very interesting fight as drivers head out on track to be able to get going here. 2 laps of solo qualifying. Now, crucially, it is a night race here at the Lady in Black, and so that does mean that track temperatures are going to be a little bit more fixed than we would see if this were to be a day race. 80 degrees Fahrenheit right now, 78 degrees Fahrenheit in the air. But the big thing that I have circled here, Robert, is that 10 degrees mile an hour of wind coming out of the south right now. With the crosswind coming across the track, that could really throw off some of these drivers.
Yeah, they say a lot of aerodynamics aren't a lot in these cars, but when you got 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing on the car in the corner, on that crosswind, it makes the car a handful. As we ride on board here with Joshua Suss, watching him work that wheel, trying to keep the car up again, as he's running a Formula wheel, trying to keep that car up against the wall.
Yeah, and that's something that I haven't really seen here. You and I were actually just talking about some new Formula wheels coming into the world of iRacing. Oh, but Suss makes contact with the outside wall, and in the rules of iRacing, that will count as a 1X, and that means that lap will be discounted. But perhaps more crucially here for Joshua, that's going to arrest his momentum a little bit, slow him down, may not be able to get the times that he wants to get on the board as a result.
Definitely want to stay close to the wall. Your times are much better. But yeah, if you top it, especially in qualifying, it's pretty much the end of your run. You lose your momentum. And we can see Dylan Jones, he's on the ball tonight right now just comes across the line with a 29.2 to currently take provisional pole.
Yeah, Seth Reed, Lane Doyle, Bo Tiffany behind him. Joshua Suss going to be good enough for 5th place. Bo Tiffany going to improve up into what was 3rd until he is displaced by Colin Weatherholt in the number 20. We take a look on board here with Ryan Johnson, the Midwestern driver, bringing that car around in what looks like a wonderful little game room there, I would hope, as he's now going to be bringing that car down into turns 3 and 4, riding up against that high side wall here at this point. So much risk and reward as we saw Suss making contact with the outside wall. Johnson going to be able to stay out of it. The driver in VR will cross over. That's a 29.4. That's a good time. That's up to 4th. But your reigning series leader here at this point, Daniel Eberhardt, going to jump up to the top of the standings with a 29.255.
Daniel has definitely shown he knows how to drive these cars. Good strategy. Has made me and Sam question him a couple times, but he really has a handle on these cars, and definitely the one to beat in this series at this stage of the game.
Jason Maines here, the HVAC technician, bringing his car around, going to try to keep his car nice and hot here as he runs around the track, trying to avoid any of those contacts with the outside wall. Oh, big slide, though, coming at it, too, and that was something that you circled to me here early on, Robert, that could be a big source of consternation coming off of turn 2.
Definitely. The car's already going to be unsettled coming here at Darlington. These corners are not forgiving if you're not up against the wall. They're not forgiving even if you are, but that crosswind is going to make it so difficult for these drivers to hang on.
Well, they're going to have to try to hang on here at some point as they go. Jared Mogard, first lap here for Mogard as he brings the car around right now. The number 15 trying to see if he's got a little bit of speed to be played out right now. Charging down the back straightaway into the last 2 corners here. Maybe tickling down a little bit lower than we would have expected some drivers to run, but nevertheless, he is going to try to do what he can here. Again, that car just wanting to snap away from him on the run off of turn 2.
Yeah, they're not happy with the cars. Everybody's having a hard time. We got a couple drivers just not able to finish their laps. It's going to be a handful tonight. And like I said, these guys have proven me wrong a lot of times, but I think this is going to be a little bit more tentative than it was at the Rock because Darlington is known for being an unforgiving track.
Yeah, they're going to have plenty of drivers here that get their Darlington stripe. But if you like what you're seeing tonight, and if you want a little bit more information for all things Rolling Thunder, tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Burn 'Em Down podcast with Greg Dreiss. It's available on Greg Dreiss's Twitch channel, Spotify, SiriusXM, Apple, and YouTube. There you can see the link on your screen. Head on over there. They're talking all things Rolling Thunder, and it is certainly something that you do not want to miss. We also want to bring your attention here to the Battle of the Teams, which will be taking place December 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be the Xfinity Series headed to Daytona, and winning teams will take all of the $500 prize pool. 2 teams of drivers, a $60 entry. It'll be fixed setups on an 85-lap race, 2 sets of tires in the pits, no quick repair, and it will be broadcast. If you want some more information, head on over to rollingthunderracing.com. Registration closes December 15th. Also, we want to thank tonight's sponsor, Cleveland Wrap. Cleveland Wrap has been a Manta, Ohio since 2017 and is owned by Patrick and Carrie Frost. A 5-star rated business on Google, Cleveland Wrap specializes in creating custom designs for personal and commercial vehicles, boats, and first responder wraps. They also make banners, stickers, wall and floor graphics, and much, much more. Request a quote today at clevelandwrap.com. Don't get a wrap, get a Cleveland Wrap. Again, massive thank you to them for sponsoring tonight's Cleveland Wrap 181 as we now tick our way over into the warm-up session. And kind of that has been the case here over the course of the season, not seeing a lot of drivers out on track. I think they've kind of learned what they need to learn and probably taking this time to maybe get a little bit of water in the system, maybe take a bio break, something of that nature. Just get themselves ready for this 133-lap race that is upcoming.
Well, just sitting quiet right now, getting instructions from their race control. Once that's done, we may see a few cars get out on track, trying just to feel the track out, see how it's going to feel at the start of the race. Maybe find a line that most people aren't looking at. Just we can see our camera drivers here get all settled in, listening to instruction, and getting ready for what I'm sure is going to be one heck of a race.
Yeah, it certainly is here. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how everybody plays themselves out. A couple of cars actually are going to be headed out on track right now. Looks like Trevor Williams going to be one of them, as well as the number 12 machine. That's Jason Maines behind him. And apologies, by the way, Jason is in HVAC sales, not tech. So I was trying to be smart there with a nice little reference, and I messed it up a little bit. But Jason in HVAC sales, nevertheless, glad to see him here in the series.
Yeah, heavy wiggle there coming out of the pits. Little slap of the wall. Maybe just seeing how much he can push the car right now. Qualifying's over. We're getting ready to race. Let's see what we can do with the car before we tap the wall. As we ride on board here with Joshua. So it's a little lower from the wall. Good exit. See how he can get through here. The car coming up on his inside. Just let him through. Nice and easy on the wheel.
Yeah, and I've got to say here, Robert, I mean, we said here the driver, the number 14, racing with a formula-style wheel, and that is that wheel that has the 2 grips off to the sides as opposed to a traditional circle wheel that we see. Just how different of an approach is that, and is that maybe going to be a little bit of a detriment here tonight for Joshua?
Well, honestly, I can say I just got my Formula One wheel, and I've started running laps with it. And it is a different feel. You don't have that roll that you have on a normal steering wheel. You know, you get that tendency to just kind of let your hands slide around on it. It really makes for cornering a lot different. It's a learning curve, but you can really feel the car on corners as Joshua gets into the wall there. But definitely a difference. I'm going to have to try it out in a stock car, but I do have my circular wheel here just in case it's uncomfortable.
Well, all right, there you go. A little bit of real-world experience at this point. They are going to be working their way around. Here's Colin Weatherholt, the Hoosier driver, trying to see what he is able to do right now. The I rating of just under 2,500 there, about 45 seconds left to go. Big spread, by the way, of I ratings here in the field, all the way up from those 2,500s and higher above that, reaching all the way down. Really love to see that here in a league. So often we We see leagues that are, 5K plus iRating, and love that Rolling Thunder has been able to give a place for everybody with any sort of iRating.
Yeah, and the drivers here, iRating. I personally, I don't put a lot into the iRatings because a lot of drivers, maybe all they do is race series. They don't race a lot of traditional, season races within iRacing. So that iRating just doesn't get up where it should be. And all these drivers have proved over the last 7 rounds, they can drive these cars, they can battle for position, and they can move their way up front.
Yeah, they certainly can. As the checkered flag flies here in the race warm-up, and that means it's time for the race itself. That also means it's time to bring you the starting grid here on GSRC. Daniel Eberhardt, your championship points leader, will start in pole position with Scott Crump flanking him. Dylan Jones lines up third in row 2 with Colin Weatherholt to his outside. Then it's Jordan Baruba in P5, followed by Ryan Johnson. Randy Nichols lines up 7th with Seth Reed in P8. Jared Mogard lines up 9th, and Michael Larch will make out the rest of your top 10.
Yeah, we got Matthew Molnar alongside Trevor Williams in row 6, along with Bo Tiffany in 13th and Jacob Manning, one of our onboard drivers tonight. Row 8 is Lane Doyle and Luke Smith. Row 9, Joshua Suss, another of our drivers with an onboard camera, beside Jared Haynes. Brenton Barker and Jason Maines take up row 10.
And one more driver here in the field. That is Dean Gagliano to round out the back of this 21-car grid. As we take a look back there, track temperature has fallen by about a single degree Fahrenheit. It's down to 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, that wind looks like it's decreased a little bit. Was about 7 miles an hour. Now has fallen down to about 6 or so. But still, it's a pretty substantial wind the drivers are going to have to contend with as they work their way around here. Well, everybody out and on their way here at this point, ready to see who gets the Darlington stripe, ready to see who's got the best dance moves as they get ready to tango with the Lady in Black tonight.
Daniel Eberhardt got a slow start there, but I'm sure he'll dial it back in as they come around here, get warmed up and ready to go.
A little bit surprised that we're not seeing a lot of weaving out of these cars, trying to make sure everything is up to temperature, but everybody to each their own. The Georgian driver there leading the way right now, the number 90, perfectly flanked here by the number 11 of Scott Crump. There you can see them as they come down into turn 3 and 4. The rest of the field filtering their way behind them. Crump going to be trying to see what he is able to do. Obviously that preferred line, the outside line, but it's going to be Eberhardt who's going to control the field here down to the inside as they come off of turn 4. All eyes go to Barney the Flagman as they get ready to go racing. Entering into the Geico start zone. Here we go. There goes the green. We are racing here in Darlington. It's a good getaway for that low line. A couple of drivers starting to piece their way out. The number 22 there of Justin Baruba having a big wiggle and already perfectly sideways coming down through turn 1. He's going to be able to catch the car as they make their way out of 2.
Yeah, I just lit up those rear tires, got the car a little loose. Good catch on it, didn't do any damage to the car, just settle in, get back in line as we got a car going sideways. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness gracious, that was the 38 of Ryan Johnson, almost parallel to the track, or perpendicular to the track there, but he was able to catch it as we are going to complete our first lap under green flag running. Some sketchy moments to start things off, and that big slide there from Johnson has opened up a little bit of a gap between himself and 4th place of Colin Weatherholt, but up at the front of the field, it's Scott Crump that was able to get the advantage. Now dropping back is Daniel Eberhardt. Maybe a little bit of strategy coming into play there for the number 90.
A little bit of strategy, maybe a little bit of looseness, maybe saving some tires. He has shown us where he is in the field doesn't really make a difference when it comes to the end of the race, but he did say in interviews last week that this is one of his harder tracks. As we see Ryan Johnson here, just watch his wheel as he makes a lap around here, see how much he's having to actually hold on to that car.
Yeah, let's take a look here as Ryan Johnson, big contact with the outside wall there for Eberhardt. He's going to have a little bit of looseness as they come down through the corner here at this point. And look at that. Ryan holding a very good wheel, it has to be said. Very smooth hands, and that's going to be pretty crucial here tonight.
Yeah, it's when the hands really start moving, you got to worry. as Eberhardt's just flirting with the wall there, maybe trying to figure the track out. Maybe he didn't get the practice in, but that's good for Johnson. Maybe get up around him, grab a position from him, and make Eberhardt work even more.
Yeah, certainly. As we take a look out the back here of Scott Crump, the Virginia driver right now does sit in the lead of the race. Dylan Jones, who started from third place, starting to close up in on him. Crump taking a little bit of an alternate line down into turn one here at this point as they come down through the corner. Everybody flirting with that outside wall here as they now come off of turn one, bringing the cars around. Great shots there by our director, Ryan Bauer, showing us the speed and the raw horsepower as these cars thunder on by.
Yeah, Dylan Jones just kind of making sure Crump keeps honest there. He has shown his way to move forward. We are on board here with Matthew Molnar in seventh. As you know, good nice line close up to the wall, but you can see all the wiggles on the rear end. The car really loose, half mid corner and on exit. So these drivers really have their handful here to start.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned to me off air here, Robert, was this car is going to get a little bit tighter as the race goes along. Now, normally we say that that's going to be a situation as the car gets tighter, it's going to be harder to control. Could that actually be a little bit of a benefit here for some of these drivers as this wiggliness kind of works itself out of the car?
Well, unfortunately, Darlington, you want that wiggle. You want to be able to slide that rear end near the wall and get the car rotated. When it gets tighter and you've got to turn that wheel more, you can't have as much face close up to the wall. Eberhardt here makes a move on Colin Weatherholt. Decides to back out of it. Could have been disastrous, but just kind of seeing where his car is going to go. You know, Colin Weatherholt's been battling, holding on to that second spot in the championship. Sure, he's looking for his first win of the season to keep Dylan Jones at bay.
Yeah, trying to keep him at bay here at the moment. Let's see if he's able to get a little bit of a run here. Seth Reed back in 8th place right now, working on Matthew Molnar up in front of him. Molnar taking a little bit of a look at Randy Nichols up in front of him. Molnar, by the way, one of your biggest movers of the race, actually your biggest mover of the race. He's up 4 positions since the drop of the green flag. He's got to be careful, though. A little bit of contact there with the outside wall may send him down through the order. That's the number 15 of Jared Mogard, though, sending a move on Seth Reed. Reed has nothing to do with it, and now he is going to have to hold back in the line, but looking for a little bit of a crossover coming down the backstretch. Not going to play out for him. Mogard holds on to P8.
Mogard moved just a little bit to the left there, you know, not allowing him to get that run to the inside, take that inside line on entry to the corner and get around him. Be on board here with Daniel Eberhardt. Seems to have gathered his car up here as he makes a run for Weatherholt, who I'm sure does not want to let him around him. Definitely probably tired of seeing the back of that car over the last few rounds.
Yeah, probably tired of seeing the back of it, but he may not have a whole lot to be able to say about it. Is here coming down to the inside again is going to be a move there by Eberhardt. We ride on board with Jacob Manning. This driver back at 11th position. He's up 3 since the drop of the green flag. Trevor Williams in the number 1 up ahead of him. A little bit of a gap starting to develop there, but nothing too crazy. The biggest gap we see is going on in front of these 2 drivers as Eberhardt finally works his way to the inside, and he gets the move done on Colin Weatherholt.
Surprisingly, not a lot of interchange in lap times from the start of the race, but the tires are going to fall off pretty quick here. We are running as cold as the track is, and those winds, all this sliding around and all this dipping and diving they're doing is really going to chew up those tires. Who's going to be able to save?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big thing, and that may have been one of the reasons why we saw Eberhardt wanting to get that move on as quickly as possible to get into a position not only to prevent the runaway here from your 2 leaders of Scott Crump and Dylan Jones, but also to maybe try to be able to save those tires, as running in that dirty air is going to be no help to any driver.
Definitely a lot. It's, even with the occasional, the low downforce that these cars have. But it's definitely going to keep them in check. Definitely going to be hard to hold on to as we get deeper into a run here. We're looking at around 36 laps, I believe, before they need to stop for fuel. So that's a lot of laps to put on these tires. Maybe they need some double stagger on the right-hand side.
They very well might. Dylan Jones here continuing to chase down. Got to give some credit to Eberhard. He continues to chase them down as well. We watch the number 3 and now jump back in line. Ryan Johnson here in the 5th place, trying to close down on the Ed Carpenter Racing Painter. Here works in the paint shop, does Colin Weatherholt. So running across series here at this point. Not traditionally used to racing or to being around cars with fenders, but doing a fantastic job here tonight.
And just keeping an eye on Ryan here on the onboard cam. Still really smooth with the wheel, really just, and then he has a moment, commentator's curse, I guess. But yeah, really smooth, not really asking a lot of the car, just saying, okay, you know what, get around the track, and I will be happy with you.
Well, he's certainly doing a good job of it there, straightening the wheel out, coming onto the backstretch right now. He's got a little bit of a run on Weatherholt. He's going to take a look down to the inside. Weatherholt holds low. Let's see if he decides to make any sort of a run here at this point. Johnson doesn't look like he's got necessarily enough to challenge, but certainly enough to just be threatening here at this point. And sometimes that can be enough to just force an error out of another driver. We normally talk about that driving style on the road side of things, but it is certainly true here in the oval world as well.
It really lose your momentum on trying to take the low line here. If you can get them on entry, you can usually kind of hold with the guy up against the wall, but it is a really hard line to get a good strong exit out of and get a run. You got to kind of run the wall out of 3 and 4, stay up near the wall, and then get the run down in 1 and 2 and try and get them into deep entry into turn 1 and get around them before exit.
Well, that's what they're trying to do here at this point. Doesn't look like all that much, though, from Scott Crump. He's been relatively content. As soon as I say that, starts to take a peek down into the inside, going into turn 2. Maybe thinking about putting some pressure on the back of Scott Crump is Dylan Jones. And I think part of that is precipitated by the fact that they've got a charging number 90 in the form of Daniel Eberhard coming up behind them. He's closed that gap by about 5 seconds, or 5/10 of a second here in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, and they all know what Daniel Eberhard is capable of. We've watched him run lines that a lot of guys can't run in these cars. They know he's fast. Dylan has battled with him a few times, so I'm pretty sure he might be content to stay behind Crump. We are only in, coming up to 20 laps, not even into our first pit window yet. Maybe lose the position a little bit, maybe come back and get it after pit stops.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. And again, that pit stop strategy going to be a big thing here today, as those tires are going to be probably the big key for this race. Now the top 3 only separated by about 5/10 of a second as they work their way through turns 3 and 4 at the moment. Jones still a little bit closer to Crump in front, but Eberhard continuing to close, and they have dropped Colin Weatherholt like a bad habit here at this point, as the number 20 is about 2.5 seconds behind them.
Yeah, tires going away. We've dropped, by my timing, we've dropped almost a second and a half on lap times from the start of the race. So the tires really falling off quickly. All that slipping and sliding at the beginning of the race has probably chewed up a few tires, as we see Jones just making sure, just taking a peek, seeing what he can do with Crump. But I'm sure he's watching that rearview mirror as Daniel Eberhard has gathered it back up and has broken into under 5/10 into Dylan Jones.
Yeah, starting to close in here at this point. And something else to keep in mind that's going to change things up. You can see that car just up the road. That's Brenton Barker that they are going to have to deal with here sooner rather than later. Jacob Manning back in 10th place right now, trying to work on Trevor Williams up in front of him. Jared Mogard also right up in front of them. As Seth Reed sits about 4/10 of a second up the road. They're having to deal with a little bit of close battling all the way through the field here at this point. Not exactly the easiest running for everybody. They're putting it all together on the line here. We haven't really seen any mistakes at this point. Everybody keeping it relatively clean.
Yeah, coming around lap 22. These drivers will probably start coming in probably in about 15 laps. 34 to 36 laps, depending on tires. As
we've had contact. It's Eberhard. It's Eberhard in the number 11 of Scott Crump. That was second and third, and I think your leader may have been involved in it. That's Dylan Jones as well. All your top 3 taken out here in an incident. Let's go back to the GSRC replay and find out what happened.
Yeah, you just see them coming into the corner. Oh, I think Dylan just got into the back of him there and just turned him around. Wasn't expecting that slow entry into the corner, and just nothing he could do. But you know, you can't really hit the binders on these cars. It's gonna spin it.
Yeah, as we take another look here, let's ride on board with Eberhardt. You've got to say, a little bit of a hapless passenger in all of this, just tried to pick his way through, and the Georgian really left with nowhere to go as he makes contact with the number 11 there of Scott Crump. And yeah, I think as you said there, that was a situation where Dylan Jones here just did not anticipate that checkup in front of him. So a little bit slower into the corner, ran into the back of the number 11 of Crump, and that just kind of started that chain reaction that took out our top three.
Definitely going to be a lot of damage there for Eberhardt. That front end collision, Crump, definitely a lot of damage. I believe with the way they do the cautions here, Dylan Jones will be moved to the back of the line as he was the instigator of the incident.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that, as there you see the number 3 machine of Dylan Jones taking those tires. First out of pit lane here is going to be Ryan Johnson. I have a sneaking suspicion that may have been a 2-tire pit stop.
That was a very, very quick pit stop with Fernando Nichols, Matthew Molnar, maybe 2 stop. Yeah, 2 tires. The left side tires don't really take as much damage here as the right side tires do. So good strategy to move yourself forward, maybe get ahead of the line and get out of everything.
All right, well, that's going to lead us to our first break here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. But do not worry, we'll be back with more action from the Cleveland Wrap 181 right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel here as we watch the Cleveland Wrap 181. Cleveland Wrap, a Mantua, Ohio original since 2017. Request a quote today at clevelandwrap.com. Well, we are back here for racing action. It looks like the lights on the iRacing safety truck will be going out this time in a big shuffle up at the front of the field. Ryan Johnson leading the way after what we suspect is a 2-tire pit stop there. And you were right, Robert. Dylan Jones given an end-of-the-line penalty here at this point. But Jones was already categorized as a lap down, courtesy of having to get damage repair back down in pit lane. This is a death knell to his race, I have to say.
Yeah, big drop for both Eberhardt, Jones. Laps down here. Scott Crump, 2 laps down. A lot of damage to the cars waiting to get repaired. It's a shame, and I'm sure Eberhardt's back out here, but I'm not sure he's going to have a car that's going to be able to compete with the rest of this field.
Yeah, that was a pretty substantial lick there for the number 90, and this is going to be a big race in terms of that point swing. Remember, Eberhardt was 24 points ahead of Colin Weatherholt going into this race. Dylan Jones, 25 points back. Now, if you're wondering, by the way, lap cars do start down on the low side here in the traditional old school NASCAR rules. But Ryan Johnson controls the field. We watch on board with the Midwestern driver as they come into the Geico restart zone, and he gets on the loud pedal. We're back to racing from Darlington. It's a good jump there for Johnson. He's going to be able to get about a 4 or 5 car length lead over his closest competitor, Randy Nichols. look at that. Daniel Eberhardt, the lap down car, going to be able to slot his way into the mix, and he is going to be running second on the track, albeit a lap down.
Going to be interesting to see if Johnson lets him through here nice and easy, whether or not he can even get through him. All right, he's passed him. But Eberhardt has shown that being a lap down is not really going to hurt him that much if he's still got the car underneath him. So you see Seth Reed, first car, 4 tires, just working his way through the field there now.
Yeah, and that's going to be, we actually believe Colin Weatherholt is the first car with 4 tires there, the Hoosier, as he runs in 3rd place right now. This is going to be a little bit of an interesting battle, as we've got another interesting battle farther back in the field. That's Trevor Williams and Matthew Molnar, as we ride on board with Lane Doyle, who now, it looks like there, the Williams able to get around Michael Larch as they run into the corner. Some very, very tight racing here for all of them as they run around on through. But here is your leader, Ryan Johnson, trying to fend off that attack from Randy Nichols. Oh, as the 20 goes around, catches it, he's able to keep going. How did Colin Weatherholt keep control of that car?
I think he might have got a little help from the wall and the car on his outside, but definitely lucky there. That could have been a lot worse than it was.
Let's go back to the GSRC replay. I think you're right. He got a little bit of a love tap from behind from the number 51 machine there. That's Seth Reed. And the two of them just spinning in perfect unison there as they came down through the corner. And now they are able to get themselves back to speed, albeit with a big gap up to the rest of the field. This is on board with Jared Mogard. We'll be able to see this contact take place right in front of us. A little bit of movement there from Weatherholt. And Mogard just moves up to the high side, makes contact with the outside wall, but able to keep going. Picking the pocket there looks to be Jacob Manning as he tries to move his way forward.
Jacob up, our biggest mover right now, up 9 spots into 5th place. He's definitely shown he can drive this car. We get a little worried about him in the longer run. He seems to struggle a little bit, but short run speed, he's got it. And if he can balance it out, definitely somebody to look forward to near the end of the race.
Big moves from behind there for Jacob Manning as Colin Weatherholt has now taken over control of the race. The Indianapolis local in a good run here. He's got about 5 car lengths advantage over Ryan Johnson. And remember, Johnson, 2 tires. Weatherholt and Manning, 4 tires. And I think we are seeing a perfect display here that a 2-tire call is not the way to go.
Yeah, definitely a risk. Definitely a risk taking 2 tires. See whether it pays off. No for later on during the race. We are on board here with Seth Reed. That checkup may cause a lot of cars to pack up here. Everybody getting really loose. Oh, we got car on the wall.
Car in the wall there, and they're going to keep going, thankfully. Automated iRacing cautions here at this point, so that does not mean that we will go under full course caution. It's number 2 of Michael Larch that was caught up in the mix of it, and I think this was a simple matter of miscommunication here at this point. Larch really left with nowhere to go, as it looked like that machine in front of him just kind of cut across.
Yeah, nothing he could do there. Just, try and get off the throttle, try and get off the brake. But, I mean, in this track, as soon as you get off throttle or you get on the brake, your car's sliding into the wall whether you want it to or not. It's really, really hard to hold it down on the track.
Yeah, we stay in replay mode here at this point with the Texan Jordan Baruba. As he comes down through the corner, you can see it right in front of him, just kind of this slow battle taking place. And there's the move across the track, contact there. And that was the 32, by the way, of Lane Doyle that made contact with him. Sorry, we couldn't see the number there from those moments. We check back in on the battle for the lead of the race. 2 drivers that took the 4-tire call here, Colin Weatherholt and Jacob Manning, as they lead the way. Jared Mogard starting to close in on the back of him. He's about 0.8 of a second away. And at this point, Robert, I have to ask you, if you are Manning, do you maybe play a little bit of a co-opetition game here at this point and try to extend that gap over Jared Mogard and try to extend this, or do you fight for the win?
Jacob's shown himself as somebody who likes to be up front. Looks like he's, really dialed in here, holding his breath, just biting his teeth together, gritting his teeth, trying to keep that car up to the wall. I mean, we've had 1 caution here, but depending on fuel save, these guys are probably going to be coming in. If they got enough fuel, did everybody stop last pit? Let me check my timing.
Yes, everybody did come down into pit lane on the last time of asking.
Okay, so everybody's fresh tires for those that took 4 tires, full fuel load. So I'm sure we'll see Jacob Manning take a run here at Colin Weatherholt. He does like to run up front, but as I said, been watching him all season. Really, really good on the short runs. Just seems to struggle a little bit once we get near the end of a fuel run. We'll have to see how he does tonight here at Darlington.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Takes a little bit of a poke down into the inside, coming off of turn 4. Going to run a slightly lower line. Probably multiple reasons for doing that. One, wants to try to scare Weatherholt off the line a little bit. And also maybe just wants to get some clean air on the front of that number 9. By the way, some big movers here in the field, including the number 1 machine of Trevor Williams. He is up 8 on the day. But our biggest mover, that's actually Jacob Manning. The number 9 is up 12.
Made up a lot of spots with that caution, and I believe he jumped forward there when there was a little bit of slide there. Definitely, I'm happy. I'm sure he's happy where he is. He will continue to move forward. We got a lot of drivers that moved up the field just due to that caution and cold tires on the cars.
Yeah, cold tires on the cars here. Track temperature actually has risen a little bit at the moment. It's currently up to 81 degrees Fahrenheit, but still, when we talk about a racing surface, that is on the chilly side. Let's be very clear. The Goldilocks zone that we often want to see these cars in is between about 85 to 97 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about exactly where you want to run it, and this is obviously on the chillier side of that.
Yeah, we see those winds have come down too, which is probably helping these cars settle down a little bit on entry and exit. So we see the battle here between Colin and Jacob. Jacobs, there he goes, going to go try and go underneath him here. See if we can't hold the momentum for corner exit, but we'll see if he can get him down the straightaway and the entry into the next corner. He has a little bit of a slide there.
Well, and the one thing that I'd be thinking here if I'm Jacob Manning is they're coming up against Joshua Suss and Scott Crump in about 2 seconds. Those two were battling with each other a little bit. And that lap traffic, last time we were about to get some lap traffic, we had the yellow come out, and that kind of scuppered any of those chances. But at this point, there as we take a look out the back of Jacob Suss, the first driver to potentially go a lap down off of this most recent time, that could present an opportunity here for Manning to be able to get that move done on the number 20.
Yeah, Joshua, you can see on his onboard there, probably not really happy where he is right now, not happy with how the car's handling, not really comfortable. Again, maybe, like you said, it's sometimes driving a car like this with an F1 wheel, just not conducive.
Yeah, that may be a little bit of it. Good move there, though, for your leaders. Now they're going to come up against Brenton Baker. Scott Crump actually moving his way back through the field. Oh, that got a little bit hairy with Jacob Manning and the number 77 of Brenton Barker. Barker getting loose off of turn 4 and having to catch the car a little bit. Manning had to check up his momentum, and that cost him a couple of car lengths.
Yeah, really got to watch the car in front of you here. It's so easy for the rear end to just step out if you put a little bit too much steering input, a little bit too much throttle on exit. These back ends will step out, and you lose a ton of momentum just trying to catch the car.
Yeah, it certainly does. And if you even have to lift in response to another driver like we saw Manning do, that can also cause you to really have to lose that momentum. But good lines here from Manning. A little bit more wheel movement than I think I would like to have him see. Not necessarily that perfectly calm, cool, and collected run that we saw earlier from some other drivers, but still doing a very, very good job of keeping things as smooth as possible here on lap 44.
Yeah, I think he's settled in now a little bit. Just, took a couple peeks at Weatherholt there. See whether or not he can get around him. As Sparks said, Weatherholt hit the wall there. Might have scraped it with the rear. Give Jacob a little bit of a run on him, but I don't think he's going to be able to take full advantage of that wall scrape.
No, it doesn't look like it here, nor is he going to be able to take advantage of the lap car of Dean Gagliano that they were able to move by pretty quickly. Indeed, it looked like Manning had to check his momentum up coming off of turn 4, as it looked like he had a good run mid-corner and just wasn't able to capitalize on it. And so much of this running here in any of these NASCAR-style races is just timing that run. Again, great run through the corner there for Manning, but he just timed it a little bit wrong. He had to back out really through about 3/4 of the way through the corner, but now he comes at him down to the inside, tries to be able to carry it. not able to get it done. Weatherholt will hold on to the lead.
Yeah, car just did not want to take that entry that he was trying to go for. You could see the front end. He just could not hold that front end down and get the car to rotate. Maybe, see, again, like I said, he's shown he can take the moves. He's shown he can make the moves. Maybe just being patient here, catch his breath, see what's in front of him, and, try it in the next corner. But these cars do not like the low line. It just really, really pushes up the track.
Yeah, it pushes up the track and just doesn't seem like it is necessarily the way to go. Randy Nichols, by the way, coming down into pit lane here on lap 48. I would assume Nichols, remember, one of the drivers that took a 2-tire stop. I've got to imagine that those tires are screaming here at this point, and that's probably why he's bringing the car in.
Yeah, car loose. Really, anybody that took 2 tires, those cars that took 2 tires, all coming in the pits here. Ryan Johnson, Luke Smith coming down into the pits.
Yeah, they're all bringing the cars in here at this point, opting to be able to bring that in and change things up. Ryan Johnson, they go on by. Bo Tiffany, the next driver that our leaders will have to deal with. By the way, Trevor Williams really of no mind to either of these drivers. They are a full 3 seconds ahead of the number 1 machine.
Definitely making some pace, running tandem there, nose to tail. Again, could be strategic or just, it's just being very helpful for them, just running nose to tail, pulling away from the pack, save the battle for later on.
Yeah, I think that's probably the plan here for them at this point. We cross over lap 50. Let's go ahead and run you through the field here for the Rolling Thunder Racing Series in the Cleveland Wrap 181. Up in front, up 3 positions, it's Colin Weatherholt. He's been holding off and attacking Jacob Manning from behind him, but doing a great job. Behind him, as we mentioned, that is going to be Jacob Manning. Up 12 positions, your biggest mover of the day. Texans doing a good job to hold in them behind the number 20. Just try to find those areas wherever he can. Almost 3.5 seconds back is going to be Trevor Williams, another big mover. He's up 9 on the day, but just struggling to match the pace here of your leading 2. Back in 4th place is the number 15 of Jared Mogard. He's also up 5 on the day, within touching distance here of Trevor Williams, but we haven't really seen an attack from him. 5th place is Seth Reed, who's up 3 spots on the day. He's about 9/10 of a second back of the 6th place car, which I will turn it over to you, my friend Robert, to tell us who it is.
Yeah, in 6th place we got Jordan Berube. He's holding steady. He's only lost 1 position since started in 5th place. In 7th place we got Michael Larch, who's one of our steady drivers. Just been nice and consistent all through everything. 8th we have Lane Doyle, moved up 7 spots, started back in 15th. Good move up for him. 9th is Jason Maines, another one of our big movers, up 11 spots, started back in 20th. And in 10th spot, Matthew Molnar, sitting comfortably up 1 spot from 11th.
Yeah, and you saw there Jacob Manning taking a little bit of a look on the outside to try to make that play a little bit, but we'll keep going back through the field as 11th place is Bo Tiffany here, up 2 spots on the day. The number 35 machine doing their best to hold on, although they are the first car a lap down. In 12th place, it is your former leader, Dylan Jones, who was involved in that early incident. He finds himself running 12th, 1 lap down as well. 13th is Dean Gagliano in the number 18 car. He's up 8 spots on the day, starting all the way down in 21st. So Dean not having the worst of runs out here. 14th is Randy Nichols as he brings his way around here at this point. And then 15th is Brenton Barker in the car. There they go. There is Randy Nichols. Sorry, we had a little bit of technical difficulties there. And the number 13, he's down 3. 14th is Dean Gagliano. And then 15th will be Brenton Barker. Although it looks like Brenton's slowing down there a little bit as Ryan Johnson actually now moves his way up into 15th place as we move down into 16th.
And 16th place, we've got Brenton Barker, up 3 spots, started in 19th. Luke Smith in 17th place. Joshua Suss seems to be struggling, currently in 18th. And Scott Crump involved in that first incident in 19th place. And we have our first 2 retirements. Daniel Eberhardt, our championship leader, has retired from the race, along with Jared Haynes.
Oh, that is going to be a huge blow to Eberhardt's championship hopes here at this point. He is not going to be in good standing, certainly when this comes to play here. But we will try to get you some updated point standings as things go along. Joshua Suss right now coming up behind your leaders at the moment. He is on fresh tires, and you can see the difference. Suss running all the way back in 18th place. We talked about it a little bit earlier, seemed off the pace here today. Now he finds himself in great position, actually challenging up for these leaders, and there goes a move to the inside. Jacob Manning finally up to the lead.
Good move by Manning there. As Joshua says, still 3 laps down, but you know, learn the car, keep you there, and do what you can with the car. As Jacob Manning takes the lead here, but I'm sure Weatherholt's not going to want to. Oh, that's risky. Weatherholt's not going to want to give it up to him easily. Weatherholt, you know, he's been so steady. Started the season with leading the championship, got knocked down into second, still looking for that first win of the season. Tonight may be his night, but Jacob Manning might have something to say about that.
Yeah, he's certainly my Manning, looking very, very strong. And I've got to say, I loved what I saw out of Jacob. I loved that just sustained attack that we saw from him as he just kind of slowly but surely worked his way up forward on the number 20. We check you back into P4 at the moment as the Pennsylvanian of Trevor Williams tries to close down on the number 15 of Jared Mogard. Only about 3 or 4 car lengths separating these two as they dive into turn 1.
Yeah, Mogard looking like he's struggling a little bit there, just really, really close to the wall, really flirting with disaster there. See the car get a little bit loose there on exit, just holding on. These lap cars nicely getting out of the way, or as we got a car heading into the pits. That's Dean Gagliano heading into the pits by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some more drivers coming off down into pit lane here at the moment. Let's see exactly what is going to happen here with these drivers. Maybe this is an answer for Colin Weatherholt. Dive down into pit lane, try to get a little bit of an undercut on Jacob Manning. Could that be the way to go?
We've had a few drivers try the undercut before. Hasn't really worked out just because of the caliber of the rest of the drivers. Trying to do that undercut, especially on a short track, can really, really hinder you. And I won't say why, but our director will yell at me. But, you know, anything can happen. This is Darlington.
Exactly. Anything can happen here at this point. Let's see what is going to happen here now. We ride on board a little farther back in the field. There is the number 20 of Colin Weatherholt. Let's see what he is able to do. Taking a look down to the inside. This is some lap traffic. But no, that inside move, that's going to be Weatherholt coming down into pit lane.
Now we got Colin Weatherholt. We got Trevor Williams coming into pit lane. A few other cars probably. I think we'll probably see Jacob Manning jump in as well. Maybe this lap. Maybe try and get an extra lap and hope for that nasty Darlington clash, but we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes here at this point. Let's see what they are able to do. Riding on board with Jacob Manning, your leader. He's going to stay out here for the moment. Quick little look down, maybe checking the fuel gauge, maybe checking a few heads-up displays as they have. Looks like Weatherholt is coming in and out right now. He's going to be on his way. A 15 second pit stop there for Colin Weatherholt. That means he is going to be a 4-tire taker here as we watch the number 9 of Jacob Manning coming down to the inside of the track, slipping and sliding down on the inside, but he's coming to pit lane.
Well, we got to remember, too, they've only got 3 sets of tires for these cars, and it looks like they're ripping these tires apart pretty good. So we're going to have to see if somebody tries to do a little bit longer run on their set of tires. Maybe that was the 2-tire strategy, as Dylan Jones gets a black flag for speeding on the pits.
All right, not good there. Not a good day for Dylan Jones as he just continues to have more and more problems here at this point. Let's see, though, what happens for Jacob Manning. Looks like he is okay. Let's see what he can do. here at this point, and how is he going to come out in relation here at this point to his rival of Colin Weatherholt. Weatherholt coming by on the front straightaway right now. I think Weatherholt's going to have the advantage. Indeed, he is, as he cruises on by here at this point. Ryan Johnson, Randy Nichols, though, up in the lead of the race, both of them having stopped back on lap 46 and 47, respectively.
Yeah, really hard pit exit here. You really can't push the car on exit. You got to be gentle, or the car's just not going to cooperate with you getting up onto that line and getting up to speed. So yeah, good for Weatherholt, got around him. Randall Nichols is our current leader, but I think he's going to have to come in and, no, he's already pitted. So Randall Nichols has taken over the lead from Colin Weatherholt, and with Ryan Johnson in third place.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson in third place here at this point. But the question is with Johnson, he just got passed like he was standing still by Colin Weatherholt. So we're going to have to see how that comes out to play here in a moment. Jacob Manning, by the way, about 5 seconds back of Ryan Johnson. The gap between Nichols, your leader, and Weatherholt holds at about 1.5 seconds as they run on lap 66.
Yeah, really enjoying Ryan's run here. He's been good and steady. Got himself into a podium position last week. Short track seems to be his place where he wants to be. Moved him up to, sitting comfortably in 10th place the last few races. Jumped up into 7th, looking for a good finish tonight. Maybe pull himself into within the top 5 of his championship standings.
Yeah, that's what he's going to be hoping to do here at this point. But let's see what they are able to do. We ride on board right now as Jacob Manning sets the fastest lap of the race, clearly having some ways to go here. Manning having a little bit of something to prove potentially. He is trying to see what he can do. Let's see as they go. This is Weatherholt now, your leader. So he's been able to get by Randy Nichols again, passing him like he's standing still.
Yeah, Weatherholt has proved he's no slouch in these cars. He can drive them. He's got 15-lap fresher tires than Randall Nichols. Take advantage of them when you can, because you never know when they're going to fall off. And you do have limited set of tires, so use what you got when you got it.
Here's Bo Tiffany trying to make a move down into the inside of Joshua Suss. He's going to get that done and played out before they come down into the corner. Move Bo Tiffany up into 14th place here at the moment. That was really our closest battle out on the track right now as we get closer to lap 70. That's right, folks. We are already over halfway done in this race. That is just how quickly they tick off laps here in the Rolling Thunder Race Series, and particularly in the Cleveland Wrap 181. Jacob Manning down to the inside of the 38 of Ryan Johnson. Johnson sliding up the track. Those older tires here at this point not playing out. 21-lap old tires for Johnson. That alternate pit strategy call not looking like it's playing out here for the 38.
Yeah, heavy hit in the wall there. Not sure how much damage that's going to do to the control of his car. It's a shame when it hits the wall there, and it frustrates you. I've been there, and you kind of get out of it for a minute, or you make the other mistake, and you're like, I hit the wall, now I got to catch up, and it can lead to a few other mistakes.
Yeah, it certainly can. Here is the car of our sponsor, Cleveland Wrap. Again, coming around here, Michael Larch in the number 2 supporting that livery. He's got a little bit of a battle on his hands as he tries to close up on Jason Maines up in front of him. That gap is only about 4 or 5 car lengths here as they go Virginia versus Ohio as they dive down into turn 1.
Michael definitely having a good season here so far. You know, he moved from 15th to 9th place since the Glen in the championship. He's just been able to stay nice and steady, maintain his position, slowly creep his way up the standings. Definitely somebody not to count out, as we're not even halfway through this season yet.
Yeah, trying to be able to see what they can get done in the morning. Not sure if they're going to be able to do anything here at this point. A little bit of a move as Seth Reed has been able to get by Trevor Williams. That's a move for 4th position, farther up in the field here as they go. Reed on a good run. He is on the traditional pit stop cycle here at this point. Williams also on that cycle, albeit came in 1 lap earlier.
Yeah, we right on with Seth Reed here in 4th. Just getting around his lap car, just got the tires to be able to really get on and out of the corner. Now that is for position. He takes that. Seth Reed, my apologies. Seth Reed takes over third.
All right, Seth Reed takes over third there at this point. That is going to be a good run for him. Here is Trevor Williams in the number 1 machine, still trying to hold on to the back of him. He's also got to worry about Randy Nichols from behind him, but they've both been able to pass him here at this point. Nichols, again, on that alternate pit strategy, is now Jared Mogard also able to make a pass on the other driver that is on that pit strategy, and that is going to be Ryan Johnson falling back down into 7th place.
Looks like everybody's settled in here a little bit. Everybody, last lap times, everybody's within a 10th of each other. Everybody running around the same times, just settled in. A couple faster drivers the last lap. See Ryan Johnson just really, really loose there. He's in the wall.
Oh, hard into the wall there. Yeah, he is really and truly having problems here at this point. Really losing that car. You can see it coming off of the corner and just stepping away on him here as he tries to hold on to it the best he can. He's coming down to the pit lane for a fresh set of boots.
Yeah, fresh set of boots. Maybe try and get as much repair as possible as we ride on board here with Trevor Williams in 4th. Just, trying to keep Seth Reed in touch. Really, really close to the wall there. You can see the wheel moving around, just trying to hold on to the car.
Yeah, he is just absolutely wheeling it here at this point as they go. We ride on board with Williams as I've got to give him credit. He lost that position to Seth Reed up in front of him, but he is not letting it go here as they run. He is doing an absolutely fantastic job of keeping everything together.
Look at some of our biggest movers here. Jacob Manning in 13th. We've got Trevor Williams has moved up 8 spots. Jason Maines has moved up 12 spots. A lot of movers in the field here. A lot of drivers tapping the wall. Maybe the car's getting a little bit less control of the cars. You can hit the wall 3 or 4 times, but after that, you start doing enough damage that the car's not going to be happy with you on entry or exit.
Yeah, and not only just the aerodynamics of the car. It's Randy Nichols going to be the latest driver to come down into pit lane. Those 2 drivers that are on that little bit of an alternate pit strategy. Joshua Suss, also one of those drivers down in on pit lane. But Maines here trying to be able to move his way up through the field. That's the number 3 in front of him as they go. Let's see if they are going to do anything here as they run. Not looking like that number 12 machine's necessarily going to get a good run. He's got about 5 seconds to catch up to Jordan Maruba up ahead of him. But this is Trevor Williams, again, keeping touch here with Seth Reed, although Reed is just starting to eke away from him.
As we got Colin Weatherholt opening up nice almost a 2-second lead over Jacob Manning here. Maybe Jacob's just losing the car a little bit. He's got really nothing to worry about right now. Seth Reed almost 5 seconds behind him, battling with Trevor Williams.
Yeah, good little battle here at this point. This is your leader, this is Jacob Manning, the number 9 machine here at this point. As they go, he's closing in on Weatherholt. I've got to give him credit here at this point. He is really, really closing in.
Yeah, as I mentioned at the start there, Jacob has shown really, really good strength at the beginning of the run. He's got a lot of faith in the car. Like I said, if he can balance it out, he's definitely going to be a contender for the win here. But like I said, Colin Weatherholt, definitely, I'm sure he wants to get that first win underneath his belt. And with the issues for Dylan Jones there, maybe open up that lead in 2nd place.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he is able to do it here at this point. Reed about 3 seconds behind. I think he's going to be hoping for a little bit of a battle here at this point between Jacob Manning and Colin Weatherholt. Now, we are about 20 laps on this set of tires here at this point. We went about 38 to 40 last time around, so about halfway through the stint here, and we have 52 laps to go. And so I think at this point on out, we're looking about probably 10 to 15 laps until that theoretical pit window can open up.
Yeah, Jacob Manning, Seth Reed got both 2 laps fresher tires than Colin Weatherholt. So, open up that lead, maybe hold them off a little bit, maybe pit in with them, even though these, really, really close to tires. Ryan Johnson, Randall Nichols back in 11th and 12th. You know, pitted, brand new set of tires on them. See if they can move themselves forward and catch everybody out when they pit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we're going to see that pit strategy come into play again a little bit later. Let's see what is going to play out here. We ride on board with Jared Mogard, who now has turned the tables here a little bit, starting to close in on Trevor Williams up in front of him. Half a second gained on the last lap.
Yeah, one of our quicker drivers, you know, Jacob Manning running and just over just up almost 31s. Seth Reed, Trevor Williams were at 31, almost 31.5s last lap around. Colin Weatherholt starting to lose that a little bit as Jacob Manning closed into with half a second on him.
Yep, really starting to close in here at this point. This is going to get very, very interesting. We said Williams was able to keep up with Seth Reed in front of him. I wonder here at this point, Robert, if he burned up his tires a little bit. But look at this. Speaking about being able to keep up in front of them, Colin Weatherholt has been caught by the number 9 of Jacob Manning.
Well, to your point there, you got to wonder if Jacob getting back up there has not maybe burned himself up. You know, burned up them front tires, burned up those rears, just trying to catch Colin and put up another battle as they're about 25 laps into a stint here. So another 10 laps or so, we should see at least one of them dive into the pits.
Yeah, that's about my math as well, and I wonder if we're going to see a similar thing to what we saw last time around. Let's not forget Manning able to make the pass before the pit stop cycle, and it wasn't the pit stop itself that caught Manning out. It was that in-lap and out-lap that put him down in the order. They were within about 1/10 of a second of each other, stationary in the box. According to my screen here, Weatherholt had a 15-second pit stop. Manning had a 15.1-second pit stop, so certainly close. All right, this is now a three-way battle for the final podium positions as Trevor Williams, not to be outdone, looks like he hasn't used up his stuff as he's closed down on Seth Williams, and then Mogard and Williams in perfect unison smacking the outside wall coming out of turn 4.
Darlington stripes all around for everybody tonight.
Yeah, they're certainly gaining it here at this point. Mogard, though, trying to be able to find that run, looking to the inside, looking to the outside, maybe thinking about a run. He's going to get a nice little helping of the draft down the back straightaway. Mogard, the Midwestern driver, looks down to the inside. That's not going to play out. He's going to hold it up, but that is going to be the number 1 of Williams, drifting up into the outside wall a little bit. He's able to catch it and continue momentum. Nice run there for the black number 1.
Mogard there, he's got about 2 lap fresher tires. See if he can do anything with them before the next pit cycle. Maybe just sit back there and hold off. And we got some more drivers in the pits here. Yeah, Barker, Gagliano, Swift, and Crump all in the pits.
All right, let's see what they are able to do. Manning here, we ride on board with him, and we've got a view of him live as he continues to close down on Colin Weatherholt right now. Less than half a second as the gap continues to come down. Manning holding in place right now. It doesn't look like he's running that battle farther back. By the way, Seth Reed's been able to pull that gap up to 1.3 following the contact in the wall for Trevor Williams.
Yeah, contact in the wall, Darlington stripe definitely takes away from your momentum, definitely slows your car down, rubs the paint off them tires, and these tires are going to be screaming as it is. Hitting the wall is not going to make them happy.
No, it certainly is not. Here they go, 43 to go, closing down on what I would imagine to be about 5 laps away from that pit cycle opening up. And this is where we're going to have a lot of divergence for these drivers. 29, 27, 28 laps run on this set of tires. Oh, as Manning gets up into the outside wall.
It's going to probably, as I say, 28, 29 laps on those tires. Probably not a lot of grip in the rear when you want to get down on the throttle. Colin Weatherholt holding strong here, 30 lap set of tires. The more you burn these, though, you really got, we didn't really mention too much. Pit entry here, getting the car slowed down is a hard task, and you can lose a lot getting into the pits as Dane Gagliano is now in the pits. My apologies earlier, they were just slow.
Yep, here as they go at this point. Michael Larch closing up to the back of Jason Maines here. This about a 4P7 as the Cleveland Raps driver starts to close in behind. The number 12 takes a look down to the inside, coming through the corner as they come onto the main straightaway. As Maine's going to be able to have a little bit of a run to hold off the orange number 2 behind him. Doesn't look like it, although I've got to give credit here to the number 2. You can see the damage on the left front of that car. Definitely caved in a little bit there. He is fighting through the damage and doing an admirable job.
Going to be really hard to hold on to with that damage, but yeah, get in behind another car, let them take, sometimes damage to the car is actually more beneficial than not damage. We've seen that before. We saw that last week. Just a little bit of damage and the car handled better.
Yeah, certainly did. Let's see what they are able to do, though. Larch still taking that look down to the inside. Here they come. Looking. A little bit of lap traffic up in front of them. Is that going to play into the hands of that number 2? Yes, it is. They split the difference. Larch says, thank you very much. Moves it on through.
Yeah, driver's going to really try and stretch this one out. We're down to 39 laps to go. They got about 36, 37 on a full fuel load. Most of these drivers running with about 33 laps on these tires. So I think we're going to see pit stops within the next 2 laps. The leaders probably 3.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there on that. Let's see what they do at this moment. Maine's trying to keep up to the back there of the number 2. Again, that 2 just used traffic to his advantage there at that point. Really, really good running. Maine's running a little bit of a better line there, potentially off of turn 4 as they cross back over the stripe right now. Coming to the line, 38 laps to go. Pit window officially open.
Yeah, are we going to have any takers here? See some slowing here from our leaders. We maybe just got a little loose out of the corner as Seth Reed jumps into the pits. Trevor Williams jumps into the pits.
All right, here we go. The final pit stop, at least what we suspect to be the final pit stop, firing off here from Darlington. Let's see if there are any errors coming onto pit lane. They're going to have to try to control these cars down into the pits. It looks like both Reed and Williams have been able to do just that. But is this going to kick off an absolute 5-alarm fire for the rest of the field?
I would expect our leaders to go 1 to 2 more laps. Take advantage of it. You only got 1 set of tires left. Run this car until you cannot run it, but you can at least get in the pits.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty decent idea there at that point as we ride on board with your leader, Colin Weatherholt. He's been able to pull the gap out to about 1.3 seconds here, running a little bit lower, and he's coming down on in. Pit stop time for the lead.
Jacob Manning coming in right behind him here, not wanting to give it up this time around.
Yeah, they are not going to want to give it around here at this point. He is absolutely coming on in. Both of your leaders, that will give control of the race over to Jared Mogard right now. Here they go. No errors at this point, but Manning wants to be on the same strategy as the leader.
Yeah, he's shown he can compete with him. Get in with him, get fresh set of boots on that car, get that tank as full as you possibly can, and make a run for the last 35 laps of this race.
All right, there goes Manning back out of pit lane. Weatherholt still in the box right now, but he's going to be getting his way out here shortly. Let's see what they are able to do now as they run. Jared Mogard, your former leader, going to come down into pit lane right now. Jordan Marood going to inherit the lead of the race.
Yeah, Jacob Manning might have got a little bit of damage repaired there. About a half a second stop longer than Colin Weatherholt. So advantage Colin Weatherholt on the pit stops.
Yeah, advantage Weatherholt on the pit stops here at this point, as it looks like your current leader, the number 22, coming down pit lane as well. Ryan Johnson should inherit the lead of the race, provided that the number 38 doesn't choose to stay out here. Here we ride on board with the Midwestern driver as he works his way down the bowling backstretch right now. Is he going to take that look down into pit lane, or is he going to go on a little bit of an alternate strategy? I think he's staying out.
Yeah, 24 laps on this set of tires. We know he's slapped the wall there. He's got he's got the car that can win this race. Hoping for somebody to scrape the wall the wrong way there. Take advantage of what he can. He's got a good 10-15 laps before he's going to have to pit for tires and possibly fuel.
Well, and here is Colin Weatherholt coming up against one of those other drivers that is waiting for fuel and tires. That's the number 69 machine of Randy Nichols. Down to the inside goes the Hoosier. He's going to try to hold it, but Nichols not letting it go quietly. They fight down into turn 3. He's going to be able to keep it out, and there goes the 21 lap fresher tires there for Weatherholt, and that has allowed for Manning to close the gap here a little bit more. That's the number 9 that we ride on board with.
Fresh tires feel good. Fresh tires are great. Gotta love them. Always nice to get out on track, get those tires up to temperature, and just the car goes where you want it to, rotates the way you want it to, take full advantage of it. And we can see Jacob Manning's definitely going to be trying to do that against Colin Weatherholt, as we still wait for Ryan Johnson to come in for the pits with 27 lap old tires. But I don't think he's going to be able to hold Weatherholt and Manning off with only 4 lap tires coming at him.
Yeah, I don't think he is either at this point. Nichols, though, working his way around. Loose car up in front of him. Big scrape with the wall. I think that's the number 32 of Lane Doyle. Doyle, who's a lap down here at this point, but again, on fresher tires. As I've got to say, though, yep, there he is, just trying to keep that car together. Ryan Johnson coming down into pit lane. That gives control of the race over to Colin Weatherholt in the number 20 machine. And the race is on as Jacob Manning's only 20 seconds behind, or only 0.6 of a second behind him.
Jacob definitely going to make a run here. They've got some clean track for a little bit here before they have to deal with any lap traffic. Jacob Manning get as close up on Weatherholt as he possibly can and make a run for that lead.
All right, let's see if they are able to get anything to play here at this point. We ride on board with Ryan Johnson right now. Let's see what they can do. Let's see if they're able to get anything to play here as they go. Manning looking down to the inside, looking, trying to see if there's anything to play here at this point. It doesn't look like it. It's a little bit squirrely coming off of the line. Here they go, still 0.5 of a second, the gap.
Yeah, I just got to be careful here. I've been a driver in that position before. Your eyes get big. You see that car closing in on you. You push just that touch too hard, and the car just gives you a little wiggle and says, "Yeah, no, not yet." As he, holding steady, about 0.5 behind Colin Weatherholt here.
And this is Michael Larch, the Ohioan, about 0.3 of a second, call it about 3 car lengths behind Jason Maines right now. This is the battle for P7 as they pass Randy Nichols, who's down on pit lane, getting his service there. 14.9 second pit stop there for Nichols as he comes back out of pit lane right now. A little bit of movement there, working their way this way, that way, around some lap traffic. That's the number 39 machine that your second place driver, Jacob Manning, is able to get his way on by here at this point. That's Luke Smith. That's right, they have lapped up to 9th place here on track.
Yeah, Luke Smith on old tires there, 30 lap old tires. Randall Nichols, did we just have another retirement?
Yeah, it does look like Randy Nichols being categorized as out of the race. The client is manually disconnected, so that'll be our 3rd retirement on the day. Surprisingly,
as Darlington takes no prisoners. We've learned that over the years, and it's not taking any prisoners tonight.
No, it certainly is not. And now at this point, Brenton Barker, Dean Gagliano, the prisoners that Colin Weatherholt would like to sorely put in his rear-view mirror. Big wiggle for Jacob Manning coming off of the line. Weatherholt going to be able to make the pass going down the start-finish straightaway here at that point. Manning not going to have the same luck. He's got to dive the car in deep. Almost contact there with the 77 as he tries to keep pace with your leader.
Yeah, I did not want to let that go. Did not want to get caught up in behind that lap car. The other lap car says, okay, I've seen that in my mirror. I'm getting out of the way. As Manning just on a huge drive here. Sees Colin Weatherholt, can read the number on the back bumper. Definitely going to go for it here within the next 3 or 4 corners.
Yeah, he is going to be pushing for it here as they have 25 laps to go as they run from Darlington. Let's see if he is able to make this run here in the Rolling Thunder Racing Series in the Cleveland Wrap 181. Jacob Manning smooth off of the line there coming out of turn 2 as they now dive into turn 3 and 4. He's going to take a look down to the inside. Here comes Manning. He doesn't quite have the momentum to make it work, but he's going to hold that inside line as much as possible. Momentum comes back to Weatherholt, and he holds on for the moment.
Yeah, hard to hold that car down low and grab that position. You gotta kind of get through the entry in mid corner and then dive the car down low to try and get that run up down the straight. Just can't seem to hold on to it right now, but definitely gonna keep peeking in his mirror. He makes a dive underneath him again here to see if he can hold that car down. And nope, Weatherholt's just got a little bit more out of the corner than he does, has to back out of it, drop back in behind.
Yeah, he's going to drop back in behind here, but Manning certainly making his presence known at the moment. He is not letting this go quietly by any stretch of the imagination. He wants Weatherholt to know he's there. Oh, that got a little bit dicey as he got some momentum mid-corner and almost ran into the back of the number 20.
Definitely got to be careful with that. We've seen that happen a couple times here tonight. Just, misjudge that what that car in front of you is doing and get into the rear of them, and it can end badly for both of them either way.
Indeed, I mean, we saw that take out some contenders early on in the race, including your championship points leader, Daniel Eberhardt, who is a DNF on the day. So that is certainly the last thing that Jacob Manning wants to have happen here. A little bit of a sketchy run for both cars coming off of turn 2. They now dive into 3. Great momentum here for Manning. He throws the car down to the inside, but again, that outside line being proved to perfection here for Colin Weatherholt.
Yeah, Colin just says, you know what, you want to dive underneath me, you go right ahead. And if you can hold it coming through the corner, it's all yours, because Colin's not going to give up that outer line. And he's going to make Jacob work extra hard and burn up his equipment to try and get underneath. So he dives underneath him again here and just cannot hold that momentum through the corner.
No, he really can't. He's trying everything he can do, holding that car down to the inside, pushing, but just not able to make it play here at the moment. Colin Weatherholt, you can tell how hard he is having to push as well with under 20 laps to go. They are fighting for it here as they run.
Yeah, lap times within a tenth of a second. They are bumper to bumper. Manning's just makes another run here. See if he can get that nose up in front of him. Nope, just cannot. Car just does not want to rotate for him mid-corner and allow him to get that good run out of the corner where he can make a nice run down to the next one on Colin Weatherholt. Maybe just back off a little bit, let those tires cool down a little bit, and then make a really good run out of 1 and 2 and make the dive into 3 and 4 and get around him.
Well, I've got to ask you here at this point, Robert, I mean, what can Jacob Manning do? As it just seems like Weatherholt is holding that outside line, and that appears to be the place to be.
Well, he's trying to make the move every time here in 3 and 4, and it's just because it is your wider corner. You can do a lot more. I think if he's going to get around him, he's going to have to make that dive into 1 and 2 and hope the car holds on for him. Get that nice run down the inside up into 3 and 4, and then be able to make the move because he'll be alongside him on entry.
All right, well, let's see if that's the play to make here as he does send the car down into 3 and 4 right now. Let's see if he continues to be able to do this here as they go. Manning working his way on through, trying to see if he's got anything. They dive down into turn 1 and 2 right now. Here they go. He's trying to make it work. Let's see if they can do anything here. It doesn't quite look like it. He's going to keep working his way around. Let's see what they can do. He's going to try it again, trying to go, but it's not going to play out.
Weatherholt, you can see in 1 and 2 there from Manning. Weatherholt doing a really good job just covering off that extra inside line, keeping Manning from being able to dive on him into 1 and 2. That's where you need to get the momentum at Darlington. You need to get it out of 1 and 2 so that you can get past them mid-corner 3 and 4. You see Jacob, he's gripping that wheel tight. Hands are starting to get a little sore trying to get around Colin Weatherholt here.
All right, here they continue to run. Let's see if they can get anything. A little bit of a slide there for Manning as they come off of the corner, trying to see if they can do absolutely anything. It just doesn't quite look like he is able to get it to play here at this point. We look a little farther back in the field. This is the battle for P4, Mogard and Trevor Williams.
And Trevor Williams just getting right up on him, trying to make that run, trying to move forward here. Mogard got around him. Williams into the wall. commentator's curse every time tonight.
Yeah, it really and truly is. It is coming back to bite here at this point. It has to be said, but let's see what they are able to do right now. We check back in on the battle for the lead. Let's see if they can get anything to play. Trying to see what it can happen here.
Weatherholt the wall.
There it is, Weatherholt in the wall. We've been waiting for it for a while, and it finally happened. Weatherholt, the one to blink.
Yeah. Yeah, just, you know, trying to hold it on there, and it just did not. Colin's just been putting all the pressure on him there. Just could not hold on to it. Car just did not want to turn for him. Maybe just not as much wheel input as he thought he should have had. Little tap from Manning there, I think, might have actually shoved him up into the wall. You have to see a different angle of that, but I think he might have got into him a little bit there.
Maybe just a little bit. But this is going to give control of the field back over to Jacob Manning, and now the impetus falls back to Colin Weatherholt with 12 laps to go. Is he going to be able to close this on down?
Going to have to really dial himself in here. We know Jacob is quick, but Jacob's done a really good job tonight, really shown his pace in the car. They've both been running almost identical lap times at this point. You know, as we come around and almost down to 10 to go here, Colin Weatherholt's got his work cut out for him if he wants to get back around Jacob Manning.
Yeah, he is really going to have to work for it here at this point and just see what he is able to do. I don't know how easy it's going to go, how quick it's going to run, and how easy he's going to be able to make this go. Jared Mogard also trying to do the same thing as he closes down on Seth Reed for P3.
Should have a good run on him here. He's got about 4 or 5 lap fresher tires than Seth Reed. Might be able to hold that car down a little lower than Reed right now and be able to get around him and take over that P3 spot.
Yeah, just might be able to do it here. 0.7 of a second the gap right now, especially considering the fact Reed does have a little bit in way. Let's check back in on your leader as he crosses over the stripe. 9 laps to go here from Darlington as the gap grows to 0.7 of a second between Jacob Manning and Colin Weatherholt. Weatherholt wheeling that car as much as possible, but now that Manning's up on the high side, it looks like he is in complete control.
In control, but you know, so you see him shaking that hand. A lot of work on that wheel to keep that car as close to the wall as you can without hitting it. He's just got to, you know, keep slow, nice pace there. He's got a good 1 second lead over Manning. Just look at that and say, okay, all I got to do now is run clean for the next 8 laps.
Yeah, that's what he's got to do, and believe me, that is harder than it sounds, especially around a circuit such as this. They are going to try so hard to try to get themselves up and on through here at this point. Here is the battle farther back in the field. Seth Reed, Jared Mogard.
Mogard making a huge run there, trying to get underneath Seth Reed. Like I said, it's got a little bit fresher tires. Looks like Seth just scraped the wall there a little bit. Give Jared his opportunity here to get him out of 3 and 4, see if he can stay alongside him, get him that run down. Really good run out, but had to back out of it. Oh, no!
Contact, and that's going to send Seth Reed spinning down to the inside. He's able to catch the car. We stay green here with 7 laps to go.
I'm going to stop commenting on these onboards, I tell you.
Oh, here they go, and let's watch a replay of this. Contact in between the two. My goodness gracious. Oh, this couldn't have gone any worse here for Seth Reed.
Just misjudged how close he was to him. Just waited that fraction of a second too long to pull out to the side, catching the left rear quarter. Really unfortunate for Seth Reed. Sure, he's not happy on radio. But that puts Jared Mogard up into P3 with Trevor Williams.
And there he goes, the high five from the flagman. 5 laps to go.
I'm just trying to see if Jacob Manning has he had one win yet? I changed my championship screen. I don't think he's had a win so far this season. He's definitely been fighting for them, definitely been in position to win some races this season, but has not yet had a win.
No, he is not. So looking for his debut win here is Jacob Manning with 4 laps to go from Darlington at the line. This time by, can he be able to pull this out? This is a driver, by the way, that is 15th in points right now. This would be a huge result for their driver, the number 9.
Yeah, he's been fighting for it all season long here. He's been up front. He's led laps. He's done everything he can. Sure, he's smiling right now, but just has to keep his calm. 4 to go. Keep his calm. Get that car around for the checker flag as we come down. It's 3 to go.
3 to go. Is he going to be able to hold this out here at this point? You've got a sneaking suspicion that it will try to go here. Farther back in the field, a little bit of consternation as drivers try to work their way on through. Let's see what can happen right now as they come on through. That's the number 22 machine of Jordan Baroob right now trying to close down on Seth Reed and the number 51. Let's see if they've got it.
Got a good run out of the corner. A little wiggly there. He might have to get underneath Seth Reed here. If he can hold it down there. Yeah, Seth Reed holds a high line, but just doesn't look like he's got the grip in the car to get the run out, even though he's up against the wall.
Yeah, just doesn't quite have it here. 2 laps to go from Darlington Raceway. Here they go. Jacob Manning coming to the line right now to take the white flag. Up 13 spots since the drop of the green. This has been an impressive drive from the number 9. He's got, at this point, 3 more corners to go. But there, as you look at the driver, you can tell he is not letting it get to him just far. Out of turn 2, he comes down the back straightaway. Maybe a little bit of a smile there starting to play across Jacob's face as he comes down into 3, now through 4, drifts the car up high, and here he comes onto the main straightaway. Checkered flag in the air. Jacob Manning takes victory from the lady in black.
And Colin Weatherholt takes his second, another podium position, with Jared Mogard taking P3 after an impressive move up, starting in 9th, up 6 positions, but Jacob Manning started 14th, 13 positions gained to take the win at Darlington.
A really, really good run for Jacob. Jared Bogard, as you said, rounds out your podium with Colin Weatherholt having to settle for P2. As everybody continues to finish across here, we're going to stay and watch the number 9 because I think I know what's coming. I think we've got a little bit of a celebration here in the Cleveland Raps 181. The donut across the line, the burnout as he goes. Celebrating the victory is Jacob Manning.
He's going to be really happy. Looks like somebody else is really happy with him there. Maybe his dad. Good race there. Good congratulations for him, Pat. Good job. That's how you run her, and that's how you win it.
That is indeed a great victory here in the Cleveland Rap 181. Jacob Manning taking victory. One more donut across the line. There as he goes. And folks, that's going to lead us right on into a break here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. But we will be back from Darlington, South Carolina for the Cleveland Rap 181 with final finishing results as well as podium interviews.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Darlington, South Carolina in the Cleveland Wrap 181. As you just saw, Jacob Manning take victory, moving his way up through the field after a fantastic race. It was Manning taking victory over Colin Weatherholt, sealing that move in the latter half of the final stint. Jared Mogard rounds out your podium in P3. Then it was Trevor Williams and Jordan Barube in the top 5. Seth Reed, Michael Larch, Jason Maines, Ryan Johnson, and Lane Doyle. Johnson and Doyle, the first cars to finish one lap down.
11th place, Matthew Molnar, Luke Smith, Bo Tiffany in 12th and 13th. 2 laps down. Dylan Jones, 2 laps down. Then we have Joshua Suss in 15th. Dean Gagliano, 16th. Brenton Barker in 17th. Scott Crump, 18th. Randall Nichols, and Daniel Eberhardt in 20th.
Yeah, Eberhardt, the big story out of this race, missing out there. Jared Haynes, also your first DNF on the day. As we are going to go ahead and bring on into the booth here your victor for the day, Jacob Manning, your first victory here in the Rolling Thunder Series. How does it feel, my friend?
Oh my word, this is awesome. I can't believe I was missing this the whole season.
Well, fantastic. Now, talk us through that run at the finish. You and Colin looked like you were battling this entire race long. Talk us through those about 5-6 laps where you were just looking down to the inside.
Oh man, I felt like I was doing that freaking all race. Like I was trying so hard to get by him, and I couldn't tell if he was saving. I thought he might be saving fuel. I was like, surely there's no way that I'm actually competitive tonight. But yeah, I mean, I just stuck with it. I kept putting the pressure on him, and somebody can only hold off the pressure and not make a mistake for so long. I've been in that position so many times, and I've choked. I've made the mistake. Atlanta, I don't know, pretty much every race this season so far, I've done that. So it's bound to happen when you got guys as good as Justin did get for this league, because this is, man, it's competitive. It's hard.
Well, speaking of how hard and how competitive it is, we head to Bristol next time out, pretty much a completely different track. Are we going to see maybe a repeat, maybe victory number 2, or how do you think that's going to go?
I mean, I would sure hope so. I don't know about everybody else. Maybe they'll give me one again. I'm not sure, but it'd be pretty cool for sure.
Well, Jacob, we wish you all the luck in the world when we get there, my friend, and massive congratulations from all of us up in the booth on your first victory here tonight.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, that was Jacob Manning, your victor here in the Cleveland Wrap 181. And now, Robert, I believe you've been able to catch up with P2, Colin Weatherholt.
Well, good run there tonight, Colin. Just, started in 4th, got yourself led a lot of laps. Unfortunately, I had to settle for P2 tonight. Just walk us through that last few laps in that battle with Jacob, where you just car just didn't want to turn, got into the wall.
Yeah. Major props to Jacob. He raced me really clean all night. I know it's kind of hard to pass here. He was definitely faster. Probably deserved to win. I was trying to make that not happen, and I got into turn 1 a little bit too hot. Just tapped the wall, and for some reason I thought that the higher lane was going to have a little bit more progressive banking, like turn 4 does all night. So I laid into the throttle, and it got a little loose and right into the wall, broke the car. So had to settle for second, but all in all, I guess it's a good points night. I get a lot of those apparently.
Yeah, good steady run all season there, Colin. You've been running and just holding on to that second spot, and Dylan Jones had closed in on you there. You tonight, this P2 should open you up a little bit of a gap. How do you feel coming into Bristol?
Yeah, Bristol is a track I've never raced at, so we'll see. Hopefully, it's more fun than this, because this was pretty brutal tonight.
Wow, thanks a lot for chatting with us there. Congratulations on your P2. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go there, Colin?
Yeah, just a big thanks to Justin Kirby and Black Magic Motorsports for helping me out through the week, teaching me a few tricks here and there, and hope to be more competitive and get a couple wins here before the season's over.
Well, all right, Colin. And again, another good run tonight. Still looking forward to that first win of the season. And I believe DJ has caught up with our 3rd place winner, Jared Mogard.
I have indeed. Jared, up 6 spots on the day on one of the trickiest tracks of the schedule. Getting a podium here has got to feel fantastic.
Yeah, definitely feels good. It helps that the fast guys kind of wreck themselves early, but still, we'll take a top 3 for sure.
Well, talk me through the race there. I mean, you didn't have the easiest time of this. It looked like you really had to slice and dice your way through the field. How much were you balancing tire wear versus aggression over the course of the race?
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to conserve the tires. I figured, especially here, I figured if I could just keep the right front on it, they would kind of come back to me. I mean, they might drive away early, but I figured they'd come back the second half of the run, and the tires didn't really wear as much as I thought they were going to. They still did, but not as bad as I thought. So kind of had to change how I raced a little bit there as it went on. I was kind of able to go a little bit harder, especially the last couple of runs there. I was running it pretty hard, and the tires seemed to hold up for the most part. But yeah, it was there were a couple sketchy moments for sure.
Well, you managed to hold it well together. As we look ahead here to next week, we head to Bristol, another track where tire wear is going to be key. How do you think that's going to go there for you and the number 15?
I don't know. Tonight was a track where I'm not really comfortable at, just because we don't race here a lot, and we managed to do pretty good. Bristol, kind of the same way. Like, I'm not a big fan of it, but it seems like I always race well there. And with this group of guys, we've been running a lot of green flag laps, so that place is fun if you can get green flag runs with a group of guys that know what they're doing. So, should be a pretty good race, I think. Hopefully we can take what we kind of know to do there and apply it to this car with all the horsepower and make it work.
Well, Jared, we're looking forward to seeing you guys there. We're looking forward to seeing you there, and we wish you the best of luck in the world when we head over to Tennessee.
Yeah, thank you. I just got to thank iBuyPower Computers, Switch Your Race Reports, Asus Monitors, all the guys for putting on the league. You guys for doing the broadcast, of course. You guys do a great job. And then congrats to Colin and the 9 on the win. Thanks.
All right, thank you. That was your third place finisher there, Jared Mogard, on a great drive through the field and a great race here tonight from Darlington, South Carolina. Robert, the Lady in Black delivered once again.
Yeah, took no prisoners tonight, and some of our bigger losers tonight are some of our higher championship drivers. Big gainers for some of our other drivers. Good steady points. Great race tonight. Darlington did not disappoint. Never does.
Never, ever does whatsoever. But if you want to keep track with more things about Rolling Thunder, I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to be talking about it this Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern for the Burn 'Em Down podcast with Greg Trace. It's available on Greg Trace's Twitch channel, Spotify, SiriusXM, Apple, and YouTube. That link available on your screen. Again, that Tuesdays at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Also want to give a big plug out to the Battle of the Teams, December 16th at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Winner takes all series, $500 on the line as they set the Xfinity cars loose at Daytona. Registration available at the link on your screen at rollingthunderracing.com. Registration will close on December 15th. Also want to give a big thank to tonight's sponsors, Cleveland Wrap, which has been a Mantua, Ohio exclusive since 2017 and is owned by Patrick and Carrie Frost. A 5-star rated business on Google, Cleveland Wrap specializes in creating custom designs for personal and commercial vehicles, boats, and first responder wraps. They also make banners, stickers, wall and floor graphics, and so much more. Request a quote today at clevelandwrap.com. Don't get a wrap, get a Cleveland Wrap. We'd like to thank all of the competitors and organizers in the Rolling Thunder Racing Series for putting on today's event and giving us one fantastic show here at Darlington. Also, thanks to the team today, Robert, Ryan, and Dougie. Make sure to follow our social media, our website, and our merchandise store. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And all of that is available here. And that way, you won't miss a moment on GSRC. Our next race for this series will be the same time next Sunday as we head to Bristol. We also have upcoming races listed here on your screen, so check them out and mark them down on your calendars. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.